Hey everyone. The following segment is a part of a stream that I did on January 11th this past the month that I was talking about the big tech effect in many ways, not only relating to the current situation we're having with social media, but at the same time the effects it's having on real estate itself. And for some reason, as I was doing that live stream, we had a break in the Facebook stream. YouTube kept going with it, but for some reason, Facebook decided they wanted to cut me off midstream. And I still don't have an answer of why that happened. And I'm just curious to see what people think as far as the content. I have the segment of the whole clip attached to this video. I'd just like to know what people think as far as, was it valid why I got cut off? Did I say anything that was out of the ordinary or something that was inappropriate? I'm not sure, but let me know. And I'm also curious to see if there's anybody else that had very similar type of situations with their live stream videos. So take a look, let me know what you think. And if you like what I had to say, click the like button. If you don't, click the down button. Either way, just let me know what you think, because I'm very confused and I'm trying to understand of why Facebook is treating things differently than other platforms. Thanks.
But what happened this week, especially coming from big tech, one, rattled me, completely disturbed me. I think it disturbed a lot of people. And I'm using the word disturb because I'm trying again to use nice words. Is that still acceptable word, Trevor?
Yeah, it is.
We could say disturbed?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just making sure because I can't say anything anymore. Maybe I should wear my mask all the time so I could be muffled like this, because you can't say anything anymore. Anything you say could be used against you. It could be taken in a very different context. And I'm really bothered by that, right? Like really bothered. Like, I need to be able to express myself freely, and that's one of the greatest things that this country has provided for me my whole life. And it's provided that for a lot of other people. And let me just explain to everybody of why I'm taking this approach right now. For everybody that's been in the closet or has been hiding under a rock for the past week or so, big tech has made major moves and major things in regards to censoring and taking out the competition. And what I mean by that is they have gone after, well, Twitter specifically, first of all, had started to shut down people's accounts. That's one thing. They started picking and choosing what they like and what they didn't like. And here's the thing. I can't say anything about what Twitter's doing because they're a private company and they have the right, because they are a private company, to choose who they allow to be a consumer or a client of theirs or not. So it's their right. Same way, it's the right of everybody that's using the platform to either use it or not use it. Very simple. Nobody's putting a gun against your head to use Twitter or not. However, what I don't like that's happening more than anything else is the fact that it seems like an organized effort, almost like a coup right now by all the big boys, all the big tech companies out there to shut down the competition. And that's Parler. Now, funny thing is, I actually just opened up an account of Parler over the weekend just to start testing it out because that's what I do. I test out all the applications. I test out all the social media platforms. I test out everything to see if it works, if I could implement in my business, if it's worth it, if it's not worth it, if there's enough of a following, if it's better or not, whatever the case. I test things out, and I always give my reactions and my opinions about the software and the applications to the public, and letting you know if it's worth your while or not. Same way I did with TikTok months ago. I tried it out. For me personally, it was the most terrible experience out there. I'm too old for it. You got to be 5 or 10. I don't know. How old do you have to be to use that? It just doesn't work for me. But for other people, it's the greatest thing on earth. So the same way I tried to attempt to use that months ago, I attempted to use Parler. So I started getting a little familiar with it. And for the most part, it's a very similar type of platform that you have on whatchamacallit, Twitter. Very, very similar. Not many differences. Is it as good as Twitter is? No, it's not as refined. It's not as polished as Twitter is. I'll say that much. It really isn't. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be. It gave you an alternative to Twitter. If you don't like Twitter, or for one reason or another you can't use Twitter, at least you have that other platform that you can use. And maybe down the line, it'll get just as big and better, and it'll get more refined, and the technology gets better, whatever the case is. At least you had an option. So this is what ended up happening. And again, hang in with me. I know this is a real estate show, and I'll get into the angle of how this affects real estate. Just hang in so I can finish my premise. What Twitter, not necessarily Twitter specifically, did by itself, but what it started was a chain reaction. It started to block people that it deemed worthy or not worthy of being on their platform. And they decided to say what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And that's up for debate. That really is up for debate. Because honestly, what people say on Twitter is outrageous. From any spectrum. It doesn't matter if you're left or you're right, whatever the case. You got to see some of the crazy stuff if you're not watching this stuff all the time. And honestly, I shut it off because I don't want to watch it all the time and listen to read the feeds all the time because they're nuts. There's a lot of crazy people out there. A lot of crazy people. And it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum, what part of the spectrum you're from. There's crazy people from all sides. And they put crazy stuff on there. But for some reason, Twitter decides this is crazy, this is not crazy, this is disturbing, this is not disturbing, this is deranged, this is not deranged, this is offensive, this is not offensive. I find a lot of stuff that they leave on there extremely offensive. I don't know who, in their infinite wisdom, is the deciding factor of what is appropriate or not, but they decide to take that route. So they decided to really shut it down, and one of the major high-profile individuals that they ended up shutting down was obviously our president, Donald Trump. Well, what happened immediately right after, or almost immediately right after, Trump decides to actually open up a Parler account. Whether you agree with his messages or not, that's what he did. To be able to have a platform, to be able to put out some, messages, whatever he wanted to put out. So, as that is happening, all of a sudden, big tech started to rear its head. Started off with Apple. Apple decided, we're going to take you off our app store. That meaning Parler. Why? Because we want you to change your settings, and we want to make sure that you're regulating everybody that's posting things on there. This, to some extent, is understandable if you're putting things that are inciting people, that are causing criminal acts, and I get that. It's the same concept. If you run into a movie theater and you scream fire, it's a criminal offense. But here's the thing: part of the backing of what Parler was all about is to give people a uncensored type of platform. Again, there is some moderation, and there was things that were acceptable and not acceptable to Parler, but for the most part, it was open. Again, I'm not going to really get into some of the things that are being said, because on Parler, there's a lot of things that are offensive as well. But people say them, whether you like it or not, and they have their way of being able to speak as they like. The same way I'm speaking on this microphone, and I am relaying my message, and I'm giving my thoughts out to the people. Again, they're PG thoughts. I'm being as nice about it as possible, because there could be kids listening. There could be people that find things very offensive. You want to be nice with whatever you say, especially in the public. Now, if it was a paid station, whatever the case is, and I'll get into that in a second. Whatever the case is, then you'll basically hear whatever people really want to say. But that being said, by Apple taking off Parler from their app store, what they ended up doing was eliminating Twitter's number one competitor. Number one. And took away one of the most powerful places where Parler could have been found. Right now, as far as my data shows, Apple controls about 46% of the mobile device market. Almost half. So if you eliminate almost half of the mobile device market, what are you going to do to the company? Parler's $1 billion company. They're not like some ant that just became relevant. They had a platform. They had a legitimate business platform. And Apple single-handedly attacked them, and I'm going to call it an attack, and took away one of their major sources of income. Now, you could say Apple did this out of ethics. Apple did this because it was the right thing. Apple did this because it was the right thing to do. But this is coming from a company that ethically doesn't have other problems. That has no issue doing other things that are heinous. Basically, hiring slave labor internationally and over in Asia. They don't have a problem with that. And they don't have a problem with a lot of other issues that they end up doing. But they have a problem with Parler existing. Okay. So what happens a little bit after that? Google Play decides to take them off as well. So now you lost every single platform that you own. And then to put the cherry on top, what ends up happening? Amazon gets into the picture. The big boy, the monster, gets into the mix. And what does Amazon do? Shuts down Parler servers, their main means of being able to operate. So now you can't find Parler on any platform, whether it's mobile, whether it's on a website, whether anywhere on the internet. It doesn't exist. Sounds fishy to me. It sounds like they're using this as an excuse to wipe out the competition. Or there's powers above, powers beyond that are basically telling us that we don't want people talking freely. We don't want people doing things like this. And now what? I'm putting myself into jeopardy right now by saying this on YouTube. For some reason, Facebook shut me down. I don't know why he shut me down, but the stream is still going on YouTube right now. Could be that they didn't like what I was saying. And the funny thing is, I don't even think I mentioned Facebook yet. But I will. Something is definitely wrong right now. Why am I so enraged? One, because look, I'm in a radio station right now. I'm stating my opinion. I'm speaking freely right now. I'm in America. I'm on the public airwaves. But if this could be done to a major corporation, a major company like Parler, what do you think that the powers beyond, the powers above, can possibly do to a little rinky-dink station like WGBB? They'll step on us. They'll crush us like a cockroach. YouTube, if they don't like what I'm saying on the waves right now, they could shut me down. They could take down my videos. They could do one thing. They could do another thing. And it's unsettling. It's really, really unsettling. Trevor, my friend here, a lot of times your content has to do with gospel music, right?
And they shut me down too.
They shut you down?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah.
No, is that true? Or you just like, are you trying to rile me up right now by saying this, or is it true?
No, I wouldn't lie to you like that. Yeah, wait for 1 hour. After 1 hour, you start to see the red light start coming on top there. And next thing I know, boom, and then they mute my program for
Wait, put on the speaker if you can. So I want the audience to be able to hear this.
No, I was saying, with 1 hour, as soon as I start to record, they shut me down. And then they mute my video for at least 2 or 3 days.
Are you serious right now?
Nah, I could go back and tell them and show you. I ain't
And this is your show specifically.
my show. I always hear.
Have they done it to any other shows here?
That's what I say. I say if I was saying something crazy, if I would allow me to do that. But I'm telling you, I get frustrated all the time when they do that.
You just blew my mind. I was giving a rhetorical, and I was just giving a hypothetical type of situation. And you're telling me right now they actually did do what I was saying. For anybody listening right now, this was not premeditated. I didn't know this actually happened to Trevor. I was just pulling him out just to keep him, somehow, isolated.
It's my show right here. Your video is part of the movie.
Holy crap. Now you got a camera. Now we're going to get Cuomo's going to get after us because you're wearing a mask. As if I didn't need anything else. Now you got that going on to it. Are you serious? Holy crap. And that was Facebook that shut you down?
Yeah,
For having gospel music.
that's right.
Holy crap. That's funny. They shut me down just now. And I don't know if they shut me down because it was an accident. If it was I thought it was maybe a technical issue because, we love to have technical issues in here. But I thought they shut me down because of that reason. And you're telling me right now that, holy crap, I don't believe that. You just blew my mind. I don't know if you blew the rest of the audience's mind, but you just blew my mind. So if they shut you down, what chance do I have? A big mouth like me talking about things that I think are fair or think they're not fair.
They don't care, man.
Wow.
They don't care.
I don't believe that.
They don't care. We've been doing it for a while, and every time they do it, I go right back on.
Oh, now you got my nerves on another level. Now you got me actually amplified even more. I was going to try to be cool, calm, and collective about this and try to be as logical and even, But if you're telling me they did that to you, that is insane. For what? For having gospel music?
Yeah.
That's not right. That is not right. Wow.
Big tech, man. What can I tell you?
Big tech. Holy crap. That's Big Brother.
Big brother, that's right.
You remember that book, 1984?
I read that book.
Well, yeah. I'm glad you did, because sooner or later it's not going to exist.
It's coming.
They're going to make that book disappear.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't believe that. Wow. Oh, man. You just had me change my train of thought right now.
Well, I showed it to you, so you know I am.
You didn't even have to show me. I believe it. I'm shocked. And the thing that shocks me even more is the fact that you run a clean show.
My listeners always get upset about that. They want to know what's up with that.
What's controversial about gospel music?
Not a thing.
Wow. All right. Here, you have more controversy now. There you go. I said we were going to try to keep this as a real estate show, and what we got was being stifled left and right. This is ridiculous. Who knows how much longer I'll have the airwaves? Who knows how much longer Facebook and YouTube and everybody else ends up keeping us on the waves. I'm not being controversial. I'm just speaking my mind. And hopefully they'll continue to allow me to say that. You know, I'm not being divisive. I'm not necessarily saying anything really negative about one or anything. Unless you're big tech, then you could take it as negative towards you. But you're not doing the right thing. Come on, Apple. Come on, Facebook. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's insane. How is this even acceptable? This is blowing my mind right now. This is completely blowing my mind. I am in shock. And I'm legitimately disturbed. I really am. I don't know what to say.